Cuba, it's me! Welcome to episode 175 of the W.I.L.L.I.W show, which stands for Wrestling is Life. Life is Wrestling. Now, I want to talk today to my fellow wrestlers. Have you ever wanted to quit? Have you ever almost quit? Have you ever actually quit in your mind and then changed your mind at a later time? Maybe you were having a rough go in wrestling school. Maybe you had an injury that caused you to think, maybe I should hang them up. Maybe you had a bad match and you were embarrassed. Maybe you had some kind of problems in your personal life with family, or just something with your own self that you were getting into or something. What has ever happened that has caused you to quit, and what decided to make you change your mind? I know for me, I've never actually ever wanted to quit. All those things that I spoke about earlier happened to me, but I knew I never wanted to quit. I've had days where I'm like, man, I really should quit. My body is not feeling so good, or man, that was a poor performance out of me. Man, I'm embarrassed. But you know what? Every time I had a bad match, I never wanted that to be my last match. I always wanted to redeem myself. And then every time I've had a really good match, I'm like, I should quit. Am I ever going to top that? Like, I should go out like that. So, I mean, for me, I've never actually wanted to quit. There's been times where I'm like, man, I really don't think my body's cut out for this, or I'm never going to get anybody's respect, or I'm never going to go anywhere. But I always just use that as fuel. Like, whenever I was down, I use that as fuel to bring myself back up and as a motivation. And there's a lot of people that have quit, but then have come back at a later date. Like, a lot of people that I know have retired, and I would never say I would retire, because I just never know. I don't want to say I'm retired unless I'm like, even if I was paralyzed, how do I know that maybe I can't overcome it? Like, I can never say I'm retired until I'm dead. When I'm dead, then I'm retired. And I always wanted to wrestle, so how would I ever want to quit? But I know there's a lot of reasons that could make you want to quit. Like, I remember, like when I first was at the wrestling school, no one really liked me, and I was like, man, this is going to be a hard business if no one really likes you. But you know what? I'm not letting that stop me. I'm not letting people stop me from chasing my dream. It's my life. It has nothing to do with them. And then being so small when I first started out, that was very discouraging, because I got a lot of comments about that. And then the old guy that ran the wrestling school, Ike Shaw, he's like, oh, you need to wear a mask. And then when I finally got convinced that I didn't have to wear a mask, and I wrestled my first match, he was like, that's horrible, I'm embarrassed for you. And then he was like, you can't wrestle anymore. And it took me about 8 or 9 months before I got another match. All that stuff was very discouraging, but I never seriously considered quitting. It would have been too easy just to quit. It's just like, I can't just do that. Like, I mean, obviously the thought has crossed my mind, what am I going to do, just quit? No, heck no, I'm not going to just quit. I'm not a quitter. I would never be able to look myself in the mirror again. But then, okay, so that's when you first start, you're first getting in. But then when you get a bit older and your body's like, oh, I can't do this anymore. Is this a wise choice? I'm a single father. I've had too many concussions. Anytime I've had a serious injury where I've been out for a couple months, I broke my ankle, I broke my collarbone. Those are the times that really gets to me, where it's like, okay, maybe I should start thinking about, hey, maybe getting near the end. So instead, for me, I found what worked for me is, instead of quitting, I would never, like, I mean, obviously I weighed all the options in my mind. I was just like, I'm going to take a smaller schedule. Like, I'm just going to wrestle once in a while, just enough to make me feel like I'm still a wrestler. And I find that's worked pretty good for me. And then I was doing really good on my character. Right when I was finally starting to figure out how I should perform in the ring and what was working for me and what wasn't, that's when I broke my collarbone. And I was just starting to go on a really good run. And then I came back from that after 9 months, and I was doing really well again. And then I broke my ankle. Like, this year ended up being the year of the W.I.L.L.I.W show. But it was supposed to be the year where I was branching out and starting to get work with other promotions and stuff. And unfortunately that hasn't been the case due to my ankle. But you know, things happen and you just got to deal with them. So I'm thinking maybe 2018 might be that year, or like, do I start winding it down soon? My body every day that I get up says no, but my heart and my brain's like, you're not done yet, not even close. So that's the question I wanted to put out there. And even for the fans, have you ever decided to quit? Like maybe you watch WWE and you're not into that, so you need something new to get into, or like just whatever the case may be, or someone that was your favorite wrestler stopped wrestling. So it's hard for you to like wrestling anymore. Because always on the W.I.L.L.I Show, remember, like or you get a leg drop, comment or you get a clothesline, subscribe or you get a suplex. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling. Cuba!